Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is my first one in quite a while, so I'm excited to be back here with you guys. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Stephen Pemberton. I have run two successful seven-figure e-commerce brands, and my wife and I have generated millions of dollars online, well north of 4 million at this point. And now I work with brands doing about $500,000 to $1 million a year who are stuck, and they're just, diversifying into a million different marketing channels. And I help them be able to identify the best ones that work for them and help them scale sustainably and profitably. So enough about me in this part, in the intro of the video. I want to give you a couple of different updates, and then I'm going to get into the meat of this video. First and foremost, the podcast. So the podcast has been one of my favorite things to do over the past few months, and it's been incredible. I've had some amazing people come onto the show, like Simon Cohen, who has one of the largest logistics companies in all of Mexico. I've had just so many different amazing conversations that have been on the show, have helped me identify different things in my life and in my business that I want to do differently or that I want to implement going forward. So the update on the podcast is right now, though, we got it on hold. It will come back, but it's on hold at this moment simply because we've been bringing on clients and they are taking quite a bit of my attention and quite a bit of my time. And what's really cool about that is that also is equivalating to some really interesting and different perspectives on business and especially e-commerce that I'm getting right now that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. But I just wanted to give you guys an update. If you are curious about the podcast, it is on hold for a little bit. Hopefully it'll be back before the end of the year. But we are stepping into Q4, and if you guys know anything about e-commerce, Q4 is by far the busiest time of the year, and with these brands that we're working with, we are literally gearing up to grow. We are gearing up to hit Q4 hard, lots of ad spend, lots of products, production, everything else. So realistically, we're just in a holding pattern. Dog over here being a dog. So in this video, what I want to talk about and what the title of this is going to be is 3 things that I have learned, so just 3, that will set you apart from your competition. So why, again, does it matter that you listen to me? So my wife and I had generated over $3 million online before I ever turned 30 years old. I think we did that by the time I was 28. So that also got me out of a job. That is something that a lot of e-commerce companies get stuck in, going from 0 to about $500,000. They get stuck, they don't know what to do, and then they just diversify too much, and they end up honestly scaling themselves out of existence. So the 3 things I've noticed, and this is going to apply, it doesn't matter if you're just an e-commerce business, it'll apply to you if you are a service-based business, if you're an e-commerce business, if you're a Saas founder, if you are if you're in the medical field, if you're a dentist, like these things will apply to you no matter what. But number 1, first and foremost, I just got to tell you straight off the bat that the barrier to win is super duper low. And you may be saying, Steven, you don't understand. I've been working on this business for years, or I've been working with different agencies, partners, blah, 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 blah. And I've just been stuck. Like, what do you mean that the barrier to winning is low? The barrier to winning in business and breaking through to becoming $1 million a year business is actually super ridiculously low. And what I mean is I have seen so many companies, I've talked to so many brands and so many people over the last 2 years that I can tell you the big difference I've seen, and these are people that their brand has only making them a couple $1,000 a month to people who are making tens of millions of dollars, upwards of $1 billion. What's the big difference? One is the big difference that I've seen is just consistency. A lot of times these companies that are doing better are the ones that have spent more time doing the thing. They've been consistent in actually doing the task that move the business forward. So to give you a real example, I spend Monday morning, I portion out or I block out my time with what's already on my calendar. So calls, I put all my breaks in. I'm putting in every single big task that's going to move the business forward, what that looks like. Because here's the thing, as a business owner, you can get busy doing a zillion things. But are you doing the 2 or 3 things that you need to be doing to move your business in the right direction? So for a B2B company, so let's say that you're someone like me who's helping brands, yes, I have clients that I fulfill for them, but I need to block out that time to where That time is blocked. I'm only fulfilling then. And there's more time for me to actually be doing reach out. I don't care if you have the best product in the world. I don't care if you have the best sales team in the world. If nobody knows about you, it will not matter. So filling your pipeline with quality leads, not just every lead, is going to be the big difference. So if you're in the beginning and you're just now scaling up, consistently reaching out, consistently making content, consistently doing cold calling, consistently LinkedIn DMing, consistently getting on podcasts, whatever your marketing arm is, do that thing, and do that thing a lot. That should be a big portion of what you do, because that is you working on the business, not just in the business. In the business means you're doing things like you are fleshing out your website, you are taking intro calls, you are setting up partnerships, you're working on the fulfillables. Those things are working in the business. And yes, these are things that do need to get done. But you also have to work on the business in the category of, how am I going to market this thing? How am I going to keep this lead pipeline full? And what is my strategy going forward? So that way I don't just have to do this for the rest of eternity. Because at a certain point in time, we all want to transition out of doing our marketing, our sales, all those things. So you have to begin to get a vision for your company. What do you want to do? And then you have to truly understand what that means. So number one, I know that was long-winded, but number one is consistency. Just consistently doing the actions that matter. Consistently, if there's only two things you can really focus on, is marketing your business and also fulfilling your clients. Because the thing is, if you market your business well enough and you are speaking to that who well enough, that you can get on one intro call and close. Just had that happen not too long ago. The other one is, if you're fulfilling your clients really, really well, they're going to refer people to you. So then that's going to keep your pipeline full. And those are the easiest clients. Those are the easiest people to bring in as new clients, are people who are referrals. Those are hot leads. So those are the two big things I would focus on. Focus on getting really good at marketing. Focus on your client fulfillment. But just being consistent. Continuing to show up when it's hard. Not taking time off just because you feel bad. Continuing to show up, continuing to work on the things that are actually moving the business forward. So working on the business, not just in the business. Number two, I kind of already encapsulated, but number two is actually having a vision for what you want your business to become. So a lot of people that get started in business, and they will, even some brands that'll scale it to $500,000 a year, and they will not know what the actual goal is. So taking time to understand, what is my goal with this thing? Why am I creating a company? I know that if you're watching this video, you may be saying, Steven, I just want to make more money. Or Steven, I really just want the time freedom. And I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt that if you want to make more money, that you can walk outside and say, hey, I just want to make more money, and somebody give you $1, and then there you go, you made more money. But you got to actually put a number. What number makes you excited? With talking with brands, they really have no idea. They'll be doing, less than $1 million a year, and then they'll say that they want to exit for tens of millions of dollars. And my question is always, why? What are you actually looking to do with the money? Making the money is great, but also if you bring in 20 million, let's just use that as a number, and your lifestyle is $1 million a year, then that's 20 years, and then you're out of money. So you got to have an understanding, what's the money going towards? Are you starting another company? Are you investing in real estate? Or are you being a philanthropist and giving it all away? Like, what's the point of you making the money? So if you want to make more money, actually have a real number, and then put to that number, what are you actually going to do with the money? Make it real, make it palpable. This is what my wife and I are doing this week. And we have done a similar exercise in the past, but it's been more high-level overview. Now we're getting nitty-gritty into the weeds of what it really looks like. We're sitting down, we're saying, this is the number, this is the big goal, the number one thing we want to go for. And then we're listing out, what does that mean? Okay, what are we doing month one? We're hiring this, we're buying this, we are investing in this, we're boom, 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 boom. And we're doing that for every single month for the first 12 months. What are we doing with this money if it was in our bank account tomorrow? So I would encourage you guys to do something similar. Once that Google Sheet is completed, I will also make sure to link it out down below. Now, the third one that I would love to talk about, so far we have consistency, we have vision, and then taking a step back. So this goes back to a part that I was saying in the first one, but taking a step back and working on your business, not just in it, and asking a really crucial question of yourself. If you are the founder, if you are the CEO, asking yourself, if somebody was to buy my business today, what is the number one thing that they would change immediately? And if you ask yourself that question and you're honest, you're going to be able to identify the weak links in your business, and you're going to say, well, if somebody was to buy my business today, they would fire Sarah because Sarah actually sucks. And Sarah is my wife's sister, and I just have been wanting to let her go for the last 3 years, but I knew that if I let her go, it'd be a huge fight between me and my wife. And then you go, okay, great. So maybe I should just fire Sarah. And then maybe you're someone you're just a solopreneur, and you go, somebody bought my business, they would actually have a better schedule. They would have better automations to have like an email flow, to have their calendar set up so they knew what they were doing, so they had more productivity. Whatever those things are that you identify if somebody was to acquire your business today, work on those things. Those are the things you should work on, but you don't want to do it. So for me, because I am spirit-led, I do believe that there is a creator. I believe that God created me. So when I do an exercise like this, I'm asking God, okay, what does this look like for me? Somebody buys my business today. I believe it's these 3 things. How do I actually do these 3 things? And sometimes that may mean if I feel like the Holy Spirit is leading me to go watch certain creators' YouTube videos, or maybe he's telling me to go read a book. And I'm going to be making some videos on some books that I truly believe is really going to impact you guys. And you need to read these books. They're going to not just be hooey-dooey personal development, all of them. Some of them are. And honestly, those have been the most impactful, changing the way you think, the way that you look at the world, what kind of glasses you're looking through, basically, shifting your perspective. Those are really important. I'm also going to be sharing some practical ones that are truly going to help you be able to implement things practically to grow your business. But besides that, focusing on, for me, Holy Spirit, what are you saying? How are we doing this? What am I doing for this client? What are you seeing that I'm not seeing? And how do I do it with you instead of doing it by myself? And if you are spiritual, I would highly recommend that you do that. You spend time with your creator. Hey, what do you want me to create with this? And then if you are someone who is not spiritual, taking the time to just ask yourself that question. If someone was to buy my business today, what is the one thing they would change immediately? And when you have identified that answer, that is the thing that you work on. And maybe you want to present it in a different way. So this is the way that I've also presented it. Is let's say that you in your business have, no matter where you're at. So let's say that you're someone doing 10K a month, or you're someone doing 10 million a month. That it really doesn't change. If you were to see somebody who is a few steps behind you, right? And you were to talk to them about their business, what are the things that you would identify? Let's say that they're running a business similar to yours. So if you're doing $10 million a month, let's say that this person is literally in the same industry as you, doing the same thing as you. What advice would you give them? Okay, Steven, you're doing $10 million a month and you want to get up to $100 million a month and you don't know what to do. From my experience doing something similar, this is what I would do. I would work on your marketing. I think that you need to shore up your back end because you probably have too many employees. I would work on your production line. Whatever it is that piece of advice is, just imagine you're actually sitting with someone who is not you, but they're in the same exact spot as you. What advice would you give them? Because I've noticed that it's easier for me to think of solutions for someone else than it is to think about solutions for myself in certain aspects of my life because I'm so in the weeds. So you got to get yourself out. So whether it's through the question of somebody bought your business today, what are they doing? Or it's somebody in the same exact situation as you, name them Jimmy. So Jimmy's in the same exact situation as you and he doesn't know what to do. Or, Sarah's in the same exact situation. She just got fired from her job and now she's wanting to start a business and you're in a similar situation. How do you speak to Sarah? And what advice do you give Sarah? What encouragement do you give Sarah? But doing those exercises, doing those 3 things is going to be the biggest thing to keep you focused in your business. That's going to give you exponential results compared to anyone else. So consistently show up and work on your business. Get a real vision for what you want this business to become and what it means to you, what you're actually doing with the money, what you're doing with the freedom, and what that means. Not how to do it. Do not get stuck in how am I going to do this. because maybe you don't know how. Do not get stuck in how I'm going to do this. Instead, focus on the vision of it all. And then last but not least, you want to ask yourself the questions, those hard questions. And it's either the buying your business or it is advice to another entrepreneur. But asking yourself that hard question is going to give you the direction that you know you should be going down, and you're just not. And that is the thing, that boss fight that you're avoiding, that's the thing that you need to go and take on. Because once you beat that boss, A, you're going to have so much less stress and anxiety. B, you're going to have results. And that's the big thing. There's results in your life that you're looking for, and you just don't know how to get them yet. It's on the other side. You have a question that you haven't asked yourself. So I hope that helps you guys. I know that these are the 3 things that have helped me in my business be able to start e-commerce brands and go from $0 to $1 million a year in less than a year. It's helped me be able to help other entrepreneurs be able to grow their brands, their businesses. I've helped in many different industries be able to do the same thing. So I'm really excited for you guys to go and do these 3 different tips and tricks. Let me know if they help you out down below.